Good morning. Heidi Foy here with Bullfrog Recruiting and the NFR Hangover. We did take a break yesterday, and I'm going to be honest, there was not anybody hungover. We just didn't have any Wi-Fi. And Jim Boy was moving cattle, which he's not even here this morning. It's been a weird season for the NFR Hangover show. But the fact that there's one of us in Vegas that is, well, Tony, alive and not sick.
Okay, I see you've taken away my controls to go in there and change my headings and is back from the dead. Consumer of Korean corn dogs. I've had 2 Korean corn dogs and I really love them, but after having food poisoning and not from them, I will never eat In-N-Out burger again or Korean corn dogs. Just thinking of them now. Just thinking of them now.
You sent me that picture. It didn't even look good. And I was like, you're going to eat that?
Yeah, and that exactly. That's why the sign behind me, was Korean corn dogs.
And you're blaming poor In-N-Out, and they didn't even do it.
It was In-N-Out. That was the last thing I ate within 10 minutes. Ugh.
Oh, yikes.
I don't
want to believe the In-N-Out part.
No,
man. I'm going on that Korean corn dog.
Yeah.
Oh, that's yucky.
I would explain to you guys what it was, but it's making me nauseous thinking about it right now. So we're just gonna steer away. I'm gonna start drinking my water again and just.
That was awesome.
So you guys, this is new for us. We have guests in person. Like we had to squeeze in on the little 3-seat couch. So to my right is Skip Ransom, and on my left is Guy Bell. So these guys, I know they have lives outside of the watch party, which we're going to talk about, but we know them because they are kind of our hosts, our MCs, leaders of the party, as it were, for the watch party here at the Westgate, which is the one that Tony and I kind of hung out at, and Bullfrog Recruiting is one of the sponsors. So welcome to our...
Hey, we love having you. We can't do this kind of stuff without you.
Welcome to our show this morning. And of course, Miss Katie Hollingsworth, who has been kind of our pitch hitter this week, filling in where she can. So thank you so much for that.
Of course. Happy to do it.
I do have all the questions. I did give you guys a little teaser just so you kind of knew what was coming. So I'm super interested. I know that I've known you for all of 7 days now, and we're super tight. We're like besties. So what happens when you're not here? What are you doing outside of Vegas shows?
Man, so I have a little company at home, and we take care of properties for big ranches and oil field, natural gas, stuff like that. My wife's a nanny, and we're just regular people. I think that's my favorite part of going home is that I just get to be a regular cowboy and I don't have to be on for 10 days. And, I can make mistakes and stuff like that. My wife is, she's my best friend and, I just love hanging out with her. And, we got 2 dogs and do a lot of fence work and fixing a lot of fence and plow a lot of snow in the wintertime.
Wow. That's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah. My least favorite thing to do.
So, now, do you announce other rodeos?
So
how did you get here?
Well, I was pretty new at announcing, I guess. Cody invited me to the American when it was in Dallas there, and went up there and talked to him, and he said, "Look, I'm putting this thing together." And I don't know what was that guy, 19, 20, something like that. I said, "All right, cool, that'd be awesome." The year before that, I told my wife, I said, if I'm not hosting a show here or announcing the rodeo, I'm not coming. Yeah. And so the next summer, Cody called me and said, "Hey, we'd like you to host the show." And so let's face what happened. Here we are. And I didn't even know this big Duluth until I got here. So the fact that we work together so well and the chemistry is good. And, I work with a lot of barrelmen all year, and I work with entertainers that's their job, right? Their entire profession is being funny and stuff. And so you get here and we don't know each other, and we don't know what this is going to be. We walked out there the first night of the first year, and I think there might have been 15 or 20 people out there. So when you're thrown into a kind of for lack of a better term, an amateur rodeo, and it has to sound as good as they sound inside Thomas and Mack. There's a lot of expectation there, and the second night it was packed, and it's been packed every night since. And 3 years running, this is where we are, and you know, we're just so blessed. Like, this is such a humbling experience. All these sponsors on my shirt and stuff, man, they treat us so good. They take such good care of us, and to be here in Cowboy Town for 10 days it's the best.
Yeah, huge blessing. So how about you? Give me some.
Just kind of a summary is we have a family ranch in southern Arizona, so I'm just a 24/7 cowboy. We also have a family-owned business that my father-in-law is started up called Cattle Mex. We buy cattle over in Mexico, bring them over to the ranch, process them, and we ship them all over the United States.
Okay.
So it's just a kind of our own little Yellowstone, and my kids are all involved. And like I said, I work with my father-in-law and my brother-in-law, and we have a great time. But just knowing that I'm spreading that kind of Western lifestyle to my kids and passing it on is a dream come true. But it's pretty funny because I go from something like this where I like to wear a lot of loud and flashy things to I go back home, my pants are shotgunned in my boots and pearl snap shirt and feeding cattle and riding horses
in the back of the closet till next year.
And I love it. I
back
love
to work.
it. It is. It's, you know, and then touching on our show here, when this all started coming together, I think what makes the show a success is the difference between Skip and I.
Yeah.
He is a professional rodeo announcer. I mean, the guy's got the voice. He's really good. He's got the knowledge behind all the athletes, the stock. And then you've got me. I love entertaining. I love making people laugh on the comedy part of it. So I run around the crowd and really mingle. And so the team together is 100% what makes the show a success, because also they can feel the energy and the love that Skip and I have for rodeo and the Western lifestyle, and that we truly care about every single person that's in that show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we remember everybody.
Yeah.
And to see the repeat faces every year is the biggest pat on our back. It's so much fun.
Well, and I think another highlight too is, like, before we did this, there were so many watch parties in Las Vegas, right? You can go to the South Point, you can go to the Resorts World, you can go to the Mirage, you can go to MGM, you can go to anywhere in town, the Plaza, Sam's Town, all of them, the Orleans. They all have the same element, right? They're all going to play the NFR. You're going to probably get some giveaways, and that's it, right? And I am so much of the camp that everybody, whether they can get inside Thomas and Mack or not, should have the same experience as if they were at an actual rodeo. And so, because I love announcing rodeos so much, and I enjoy being able to share that information that I've gained and harbored all year long about cowboys and their matchups and the animals and how much money they've won and all these things that my wife really gets annoyed hearing about all the time. I get to come here, you know, and we're in our third year now, and there are people that have been here since day one, literally night one, and have not missed a night of our watch party.
Here, yeah.
We were voted the #1 watch party in Las Vegas by Las Vegas Events through a peer survey. So everybody that goes to every watch party has an opportunity to vote and kind of give feedback to LVE. And this is the #1 spot to be. 3 years ago, they wouldn't even have the rodeo on a TV in this bar. And so just to be here, be able to grow that, you know, Guy has, I don't know what it is, but something about him and his personality, people just gravitate to him, and they are attracted to that light. And I think that, you know, we don't maybe outwardly show it in here, and we'll say it as often, but, you know, this whole thing is to be able to serve and to bring people to God, in my opinion. And if we can just be a light and people are attracted to that, and in a conversation that happens with Guy and somebody comes to Christ, then we win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could care less about the drinking and the partying and the stuff. I just want to watch my buddies go win rounds and make a lot of money and have fun. And so I get to do that.
Well, so I'm going to get a little sentimental here. I would say that Bullfrog Recruiting being here was kind of a happy accident.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, there's no accident.
yeah, yeah. So, it was a conversation that I'd had with Doug Champion about what we can do in the recruiting portal and how we can move forward and kind of what's happened with me. And he was like, hey, but what about Vegas? Well, I was going to try to get there, but I got this and this. And, let's talk about that. What do you think you could do? Could you come on for this watch party? And I'm like, well, yes. And it was kind of a shotgun yes. And I was like, in my mind, I'm doing math, which, unfortunately.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Well, math anyways. I think everybody here knows that.
Math never works out in Vegas.
Never.
My math looks good here.
You always think you're up. You always think you're making way more than you are.
Well, so I kind of just pulled the trigger and I was like, yep, we're going to do it. And I'm not kidding you guys. That was maybe 4 weeks ago.
Oh, my word.
No.
Yeah.
No, it was
it's that.
It was, I think it was probably 16 days before we came out here.
That's so funny.
And it just, everything just came together. And so I will tell you, this is definitely the place that myself personally and Bullfrog Recruiting were meant to be. To meet you guys, to be around that light. And, I got to attend the Fellowship of Christian Cowboys, the PRCA Men's
Bible study
on Wednesday. And that was amazing. I mean, I had made a comment, and I should have known this answer, but I made a comment because we prayed about some stuff yesterday morning, and Logan and I prayed about some stuff the day before that. And I'd made a comment like, I did not expect to find some God when I was in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
And, you made the comment like, this is definitely where you're going to find God, because nobody thinks he's going to be here. And those happy accidents, like you said, those are not accidents. And so I am so grateful to be here, in Vegas, but specifically here with this group of people.
Well, Guy, he can probably speak to this way better than I can, but he's got an entire life. Like, his wife, Jordan, is probably, if not the most renowned agronomist in Texas. She is the dirt lady, right? Like, if you need to know anything about soil, she knows. But then she also is a cowgirl, like legitimate cowgirl. Guy's a real full-time cowboy. And Guy, moving from Texas to Arizona, I literally had no idea he moved to Arizona. I called him and said, hey, I'm coming to Amarillo. And he was like, okay, man, I'm going to be in Texas never again. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, oh, I moved to Arizona. I was like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? I had no idea. So, when I tell you guys, we do not hang out all year long till we get here.
Yeah.
I didn't even know the guy moved in February. And I was calling him in November like, hey, man, how are you? So
that's so funny. Which I kind of
I'm knocking on your door. I'm knocking on your door. Why won't you answer? Well, because I'm not there.
Actually,
that's literally what happened.
It's exactly what happened.
But it's kind of one of those things I didn't want to jump ship, go over to Arizona and then fail and then come back. And, so I thought, you know what? My wife and I, we thought, and the kids, let's go for it. If it's a success, then we'll start kind of letting the word out. But then you forget who you haven't told too. And I had family members going, wait, where are you guys? And I'm going, oh, I forgot to tell you. It's
a whole year went by.
Summer,
a whole year went by, mind you, and they go by one of the biggest cattle operations in Arizona, and then it's just no big deal. The happy accidents thing, he had always talked about wanting to do that, and then him doing it, right? I had no idea, but he did it. He's successful at it. He gets to be a full-time cowboy. And then we come here, and it's not just two guys that they put cowboy hats on that host this party. It's this is something we live and breathe every single day.
That's right.
And, being able to come here and people, I think, know that, we're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
And we're going to give you some cool stuff. You're going to probably not win an American hat anywhere else. But because Guy and I, we ride for that brand and they put hats on our head, Keith Mundy and Stan, they just treat us so dang good. We give away a hat every night, and not just a 10X, or we give away a 100X hat every night. So it's, we give away a $200 pair of boots last night. We give away all this stuff, and it's where are you going to go in Vegas where that's, first of all, it's free, it's kid friendly, we have great music for 10 days straight. We just have a great time. And the guy that hired us, Cody, he takes such good care of us. It's hard to say no. And it's just like every other production.
Oh, you do.
throughout the week.
It's a production.
Nobody knows all the, can I say bad words?
Oh, please do.
Nobody knows all the shit that happened behind the curtain because Guy and I go out there with our little fancy iron and we make everything smoothed out and nobody has any idea. But at the end of the day, there's 5 other people in this deal that we're the face of it, but there's 5 other people behind us that are getting sponsors and getting tickets figured out and making sure people have reserved seats and sponsors are happy. Setting the tables.
Even the hotel where we're blessed too is they've got a team on the sound, the video, the audio, all that. There's a team here at the hotel that takes care of all that behind the scenes. And that's also what kind of sold Skip and I here too as well, because we were like, man, we want light show, we want lasers, we want
music and
bass.
Yeah, I want it to be a rodeo.
That's right. And you can hear the bulls breathing. I mean, the sound quality is so good in there.
Yeah, they do a good job at making it, because that was the deal. Is like I told them, I said, look, I want these people to feel like they're sitting in a VIP section at Thomas & Mack. I want them. If we can pump dirt through the vent so they can smell the arena, like let's figure that out. You know what I mean? Like I really wanted that to happen. And when you walk in there, and Tony was here, Miss Katie didn't get the opportunity to be here, but you know, Heidi.
Yeah.
At 4 o'clock, if you're not sitting down, you don't have a seat.
Yeah.
And
well, and I would add too,
that atmosphere is hard to beat.
There's VIP seating.
Yeah.
But I would say that all of it is VIP.
It really is.
Because there's tables. Everybody gets a little bit of swag.
Yeah.
Everybody gets koozies. Everybody gets all the stickers and the
patches and
all the things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are VIP seating, but I think everybody that attends this watch party is a VIP.
And I don't know any other watch party where they give a buckle every night for every round to a fan of the night.
For the fan of the night.
Yes.
And listen, I saw a little boy, and you kind of gave me the back end of
yesterday.
But
that kid was wild.
And I was like, that should go to that little boy. And he was like, well, he's already gotten one.
Mm-hmm.
He's been like, he plays in, but you guys get to pick that. And it's based on that interaction, that fan interaction, and how excited they are to be there.
Well, and it also helps, like Guy, I kind of rely on him to kind of be that way, because I'm paying attention to the event.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm watching, because I'm such a nerd and I can't help it. But like, you know, all year long, I'm paying attention. And so the last 10 days of the year, I'm like, all right, there.
You get to recall
he was 3-3 in this round or whatever, and he's got 15,000 here, and if he makes another $600, he's gonna, So I'm paying attention to everything, and then guys going around the crowd, and he's looking for best dressed, and he's looking for who to give the ticket. We also give tickets to the rodeo every night.
That's right.
You know,
and that's been a blessing too, because
that's been fun.
We love, and we're a big fan,
really
and born and raised in rodeo. We've rodeoed, and when you can give a couple that's never been to the national finals, most of them that win it have never actually been to a rodeo. They're just
a live rodeo
in Vegas, and we have the opportunity to give them incredible seats to the national finals, and they go and they're locked.
Yeah,
they come back. Everybody that we give a ticket to comes back to our show, almost in tears, like that was incredible. Oh, and then they're an ultimate rodeo fan
forever.
It's really, really a blessing to be able to do that too.
Well, like this week, Guy, I don't know if you know, but we sent a couple from Chile to the NFR who first time for that guy to be in America, had a real rodeo, and he went to the best one and you can find. We sent a couple from Mexico yesterday who builds bull ropes for MX bull ropes. And like the guy brought him up, the owner brought him up here and was, trying to treat him good and show him a good time. And they were here every night. They were loud. I talked to them and they were like, we've never been to the NFR. Like my wife doesn't speak very good English. Like she doesn't really know what's going on. You know what I mean? And he's like trying to explain it to her. I was like, all right, you guys have to go. You have to see this because you don't understand until you go to the Thomas & Mack and you sit there and you have Wayne Brooks and Roger Mooney and Randy Corley on the microphone telling you the greatest stories you could possibly imagine about a guy who's about to put his hand in a rigging and trying to go pay his mortgage for a year and provide diapers and food and for his family for 8 seconds. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to not be like jacked up about that, and for somebody to see that live.
Oh yeah.
It changes their life.
Yeah. Even the second night we gave tickets to a rodeo to a guy that he was crying. He came up and you have no idea. He goes, I'm an FBI agent that was retired because I broke my back and my neck. And he was talking about how long he was bedridden and went through the surgeries and all the struggles they've had. This was his very first outing. He was able to get up. They planned a trip to Vegas to kind of celebrate that he's getting around.
Yeah.
Very first day in Vegas, very first night, they come to the show. Never been to NFR, wins the tickets. So he was just like, this is the most incredible blessing. His first outing, he's winning trip to go to the best rodeo there is, you know. Stuff like
the
that.
second lady we gave him to, she's 82 years old. She went to the very first NFR. Never been to the NFR since.
Oh my gosh.
She's one of the I guess founding matriarchs of horse training in Canada. She's been to this watch party every year for the last 3 years because she said it's the closest I'm going to get.
Yeah.
We sent her to the rodeo, and her daughter was bawling, crying. She said there's a special place in heaven for me and guys. I don't know about all that, but
whoa,
you know, we're just sending you to we're sending you to the rodeo, you know, and so it's experiences like that. It's the entire, like I said earlier, the entire reason that we need to be here is because God has given us the opportunity, and now we get to just give that away to somebody else. And my wife will tell you, she hates when I do this, but I do it all the time. Her spirit is so well, and I love her so much, and she's the reason that I am where I am. And there's so many pretty women in Vegas, but there is only one Shelby. And she, like, I would give you my last dollar to be able to experience something that I love. And the NFR is my heart. And so being able to give that to people, it's like, man, you have no idea. I cry sometimes thinking about it, because I'm like, man, how blessed are we, guy?
Oh, I know.
Like, how good are we?
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, how good is it that we get to be here and do this? And man, there's 1,000 guys would kill to be wearing a shirt I'm wearing right now and to be doing what I'm doing. So to be able to just have that and share that it's awesome.
Or to put us in a light where we can be an example.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Show younger generation of, you know, when we put our hats on, you know, it's not just to wear the hat to keep. I mean, there's just something about the cowboy and the cowboy way, and the example that Skip and I and a bunch of others, you know, want to lead and be that leader. And that's a big blessing that we have with this too.
I think everybody should be a cowboy. I think everybody should have a hat.
You guys, what you guys did there, that watch party, like I said, I've been saying it from the moment I went the first night. It was the most electric watch party, and I've been to a lot of them. I figured it out. I've been to the NFR since my parents took us in '88, but
Dang.
I've been to a lot of watch parties. Yeah, yes, I'm old. I'm 49 years old, knocking on 50, and I'm a grandfather.
I'm 50,
Thank you.
so I'm in the club.
Thank you. Oh, just because I
you're
make
the
a
young
short joke at your expense, Skip. now, there's the old guy. But no, the watch party, what you guys bring, it is. I've been to a lot of watch parties. I've been in the building quite a few times watching Luke, and the electricity and energy and the show that you guys bring to the Westgate is like I was at the Thomas and Mack. It felt that energy. You guys, you're helping tell that story, and it is. I've said it the whole time until I got off social media for 4 days because of the bubonic Spanish Armada vid 25 that I had. But you guys, the way you interact with the crowd, what you're doing there is something special, and it's an attribute that not many people have. People can host watch parties and show the rodeo and give things away, but to bring across the cowboy culture, the Western lifestyle, the values, and the way that you can honor our Lord and Savior too, and share that with people. That is just, I mean, that is the meat and potatoes, but icing on the cake of what you guys are doing there.
Sure.
I was very honored to get to meet you both and be a part of it for the few days I was out there.
But we really appreciate having you out here. And man, like you say all that nice stuff about us, but like I said before, like Guy and I, we're regular people. We're just regular people who have a unique opportunity to be extraordinary, and it's so cool that we get to do it. So we couldn't do it if we didn't have sponsors like Heidi and you guys. And so,
not trying to go down the religious rabbit hole or that, but man, it was ordinary people that spread the word. You know what I'm saying? And you guys are spreading the word of the Western industry and Western culture, And it's great because you guys are amazing at what you do, and
Thank you.
Not trying to glad hand you, or I'm just honest, real, because I truly enjoyed watching you guys work out there and interacting, seeing the smile on the kids' faces and the fans.
I mean, that's the future in rodeo. That's the future in the Western lifestyle, and to see them, like I say, that we want to be that example and a good Christian example, and just to see them rise up. And now we're getting to where we're seeing them every year, and they become that. I refer to all of them as my rodeo family. Skip and I have our rodeo family, and I mean, and they touch me on social media all the time and message and keep in touch. It's the coolest thing.
Well, and the other thing about the Westgate that's unique is that we're connected directly to the convention center here. So don't
tell me it's a short jaunt.
No,
it is not
no, it's a long ways. But all of the junior high rodeo kids stay here. All the junior NFR kids stay here. All the high school kids stay here. And so when you're in Vegas is a 21 and up town.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
But we have the future of rodeo sitting here with us. So it kind of keeps us on track and makes us
toe that line.
Hey, there are kids watching you. You cannot be drinking and wild, and you know what I mean? You have to be right where you're supposed to be as a Christian, as a man, as a leader. And so, and then to watch those kids like John Crimber and all those guys, Jeter Lawrence, come up, watch them at the junior NFR, and then watch them go make it and win a round. I mean, it's just like, wow. You know what I mean? So we have something special here. This location is special. We're here for a reason. It's fun.
Well, so it's funny that you mentioned that, because I had an opportunity to attend a watch party at South Point last night. And every hotel and casino that you go into has a little bit different vibe. And it was completely different. And I think I've just realized why this feels comfortable to me, because it is that kind of family friendly, not just the watch party, but even, walking through the casino, it's just a little bit more, I don't know, kind of low key.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a lot more comfortable. And so there is a difference. And, like I said, this is where we're supposed to be for sure, because those kids are, clearly that's our target audience.
Right.
But
for what you do, it's great.
Even just the atmosphere, that's more my style.
Even a lot of the little influencers that come to our show every year will make comments about the reason why they love coming here is the security. They feel safe. Yes. It's just relaxing.
My daughter, I mean, she's 17 walking around there with me, but she felt comfortable in that casino, in that area. It doesn't feel just like people are breathing down your necks, just staring, that gawking. And you put I'm going to use women as an example because I've got a 17-year-old daughter. You guys met her over there. Almost 6 foot tall, blonde hair, blue eyed, but the cowboy culture has cultivated the next generation of gentlemen and people looking out for each other's kids. And your head's on a swivel. But when you're there, you can, I don't want to say let down your guard, but as a parent, that
you feel a little more comfortable.
You're more comfortable.
You guys, it's rare I have FOMO around certain things, but I've got a little bit about this watch party. We were there all week. I'm telling you, we thought we had time to do things we did not have. I have a number of clients that are out there that I was like, oh yeah, we'll connect, we'll whatever, we'll this, we'll that. And it was like, holy cow.
We didn't even see each other.
And you guys.
She was here?
Yes.
You were here?
I got home last night, midnight. I was back home at midnight last night. And so I was here. We thought we had all this time and we did not have all this time.
Well, you didn't go to In-N-Out either. I'm disappointed in you.
No, sir.
No, you keep saying In-N-Out. That's actually where I'm fixing to go eat. So now I'm going,
questioning your life choices now.
Hey, don't get a Korean corn dog, but you go ahead and get In-N-Out.
I promise I'm not getting that.
You posted, you let us know that you were sick. Literally, that was the night we got there, and we ate at Gordon Ramsay's. My sweet daughter we both have to be gluten-free, and now she's got to be dairy-free. So the things on the menu were very, very limited at that hour. And we ended up getting, and I wish I was joking, it was a raw scallop sliced into 6 pieces with a jalapeno in between. So I was eating raw scallops while you're getting poisoned by In-N-Out.
Guys, I've been great for 10 days. I don't know.
I feel horrible because I've been eating
I've been eating steaks. I've been eating pasta. I've been eating lobster.
Benihana's.
Yeah, so sorry, guys. Come to the Westgate. You're not going to die.
That is true.
Who'd have thought In-N-Out? Who'd have thought In-N-Out would have got me?
Not me. No, that's also what's cool about the watch party is all the good food we have here at the Westgate.
Yeah, like right here.
You can grab Benihana's to go and take it inside the show.
I had a
All kinds
Philly
of stuff.
cheesesteak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it was legit.
Oh yeah, the
I
horse
tell you
was
what, if
great.
you guys are watching, those that are watching, if you are headed to Vegas for the weekend, this sounds like the place to be. If you don't have rodeo tickets, or even if you do, this sounds like a great place to pregame, postgame. I wish we would have had a little bit more like fire in our belly to go. I sent my daughter is 19. She's a sophomore at Oklahoma State. She's a communications major, and one of my clients wanted someone to do their social media. So I sent her, Tony, you can appreciate this. This is my little prayer moment. I sent her in a cab by herself to the MGM to get on a party bus, to go to the NFR, to get on to go to the suite to do social media. She ends up being on like a fashion posse, whatever. Like they took pictures of her and the whole thing. And I was like, what am I? And I get back and she gets back to the hotel and she's just like jazzed. She's like, we got to go do something. If I'd have had any more gumption in my belly, I'd been like, let's go to Westgate. But at that point,
That's awesome.
the old person was tired. The young person was fired up and ready to go. The old person was tired.
That's not.
I'm so like I think I've told everybody this. I could just come here and hang out here for the week and get in my own little comfort zone and not go anywhere else. Also, I get motion sickness so bad. So every time we've ever like Ubered anywhere this week, I get out like green.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay,
No, hey, let's not talk about being green and just being nauseous and Korean corn dogs. Hey, talking about your watch party, and let's talk about the rodeo last night for a minute.
Yeah.
Before we get to the first
I will
event,
say we took the show a completely different direction this
no,
morning.
we're good. I love it. That's what the NFR Hangover is.
Yeah,
Is we just go wherever we need to go. But I am right now crowning the toughest cowboy cowgirl of the Wrangler NFR 2024, Donna K. Rule.
No kidding.
Because that right there, that lady, I had mad respect for her for years, but she has one round where the horse stumbles, reins go over, snaps, she gets control, gets out of the arena safe. They're talking about it as she's coming in. We're watching the arena feed from home last night. The horse just bolts, runs her leg right into the post, gets her off kilter, and she hits hard. And I read somewhere she's got a head contusion, ankles swollen, and something else. And she's still going to be she's going to evaluate and see if she wants to go tonight. 99% of the bull riders would have been out with the shot.
There's
like
also
we also realized that Carly Otero is riding with a broken pelvis, right?
Yeah, no, that was where I was going to next. But I was going to say, so the bareback rough riders I've always thought were the most physically in shape rodeo cowboys. I always thought the bull riders were the craziest, and it was a tie between the two of them being the toughest. That's out the window. The toughest cowboys are cowgirls in rodeo, bar none. Carly Otero riding with a fractured pelvis, and then Donna K. Rule is thinking about possibly running tonight and tomorrow. That is just amazing. But prayers to her, because that was a wicked crash last night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I kind of thought she was gonna. I kind of wondered if she was gonna get up. Like
I did
maybe
too.
she broke her
I
leg.
did too.
I mean, that initial hit, like the horse she's riding, he's known to get hotter as the week goes. She doesn't like to run him multiple days in a row because he does get hot. I think last night was a bit of horrible timing mixed with, a scenario that probably couldn't have been avoided.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on Facebook right now, every armchair barrel racer in the world is talking about what they would do different. And I can tell you from experience, barrel horses do what barrel horses want to do. And when that alleyway setup is weird, they have to go through a gate and then straighten back out and head down and into the arena. So the horse reared up a little bit and then walked on his hind end. And when he set back down, he didn't have any room because his forward momentum. He didn't have any room to move, and so Donna's leg was the only thing, unfortunately, that was in the way of that post, and just horrible to watch. But I'm glad she's okay. You know what I mean?
And her daughter KK is the one leading her down the alleyway, and there's a lot of critique about KK could have done something different. I'm telling you what, Donna did not want her daughter smashed against that horse either.
Right? Yeah.
So nothing was done intentionally. Nothing more could have been done. We've talked repeatedly about kind of the armchair, jockeys that are weighing in. And I would say this is one of those that like, you don't know till you're in that position. And that horse is big. He's very big. And when he gets wild, he gets real wild. So
you know what I mean?
he didn't do anything wrong. And Donna Kate definitely wouldn't want her in the way.
No.
Well, so, I mean, I kind of compare it to, when you're coming in the alleyway at the CNFR, there's a real sharp corner there too. And we've seen some of those, I've not seen any accident like that, but I do know that they put kind of box pads on those corners. Is that going to be a consideration?
I mean, there are box pads. The problem is when that horse came down, there's a knuckle right there where another panel slides in. And that is where that horse came to. So he came right above that knuckle. He came down there and her knee and leg hit that knuckle, not necessarily the padded part. But when you're riding an 1,100-pound horse and he's moving forward, look, KK probably weighs 140 pounds. And look, you can be tough and you can be strong, and everybody, you're not moving that horse. I mean, he is what he is, and he's strong and fast, and it could have been a lot worse. And I will say this: the first person to stand in the alleyway when that horse was on his way back at 40 miles an hour was KK. So the conversation, and look, don't read the comments. Okay, just live your life. Don't read the comments. People have a lot of opinions about everything, and most of them are wrong. 90% of the people are not there. The top 15 girls that are here are very kind and sweet to her. And I mean, let's just put it where it is. She's been very, very good for a very, very long time.
That's right.
And so, she is in a better sense. She is the Peyton Manning of barrel racing. She is as good as you get for as long as you can be. And she had an accident. That happens. We haven't had Stetson Wright for 2 years now, and he was on his way to be one of the most prolific cowboys ever to do the deal. So I think respect has a lot to do with it, and the people at home are at home. You're at home, folks. You're not here at the NFR, so don't forget.
That's it. Well, there was
We've heard that from a lot of our folks that we've interviewed is, depending on your position with the rodeo, is really pay attention to how much you're paying attention to social media, right? Like, tune it out, pay attention to the real world, focus on the real things that are going on. I mean, we've had people who are, like Smash Webster, who is highly influential in the social media world. And she's like, tune it out. Like, this stuff isn't real. We're putting highlight reels out here.
Smash is the best.
It isn't yours to weigh in on somebody else's life, health, or safety.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the problem with social media is keyboard warriors,
Yeah.
That's it.
Do you guys do the Pro Fantasy Rodeo?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I'm sure Skip does.
Hey, Skip, maybe you and Heidi's team are doing about the same.
Listen, I didn't know. It's not stupid. It's very good. Okay, but I did not put a team together. All right, my brother-in-law and I normally have a team. He has a team this year. I didn't put a team together because I have too many buddies in different events.
Who are you going to pick? And
I couldn't pick them because they didn't come into the NFR high enough. So I was going to run out of money, or I know things about these guys that the public doesn't know, right? Like, I know Josh's shoulder isn't very good. I know Chase's hips aren't very good. I know that Shad Mayfield's got bad hips as well. Like, I know that Otero's pelvis and her tailbone are not well. I know these things about the competitors. So it's like, I'm not picking a team just to lose. So I every night on stage, because I want to pick my buddy. So you know what I mean. And like, I get on stage and I do my little picks or whatever. I will say this: what Pro Fantasy Rodeo has given to rodeo fans,
absolutely.
I wish they would do all year long, because last night there was a table in our cabaret, and they were betting on the over/under in every run in the tight end roping, and it was like they were getting serious. They were making $1,000 bets on if Hunter Heron was going to be 7-9 or if he's going to be 8-1, and I'll take the over. It was insane. I think one guy walked out of there. No kidding. I think he walked out of like $8,000. So I wish they would do it all year, but the PFR is legit. Like, it's
Casey's
done a great job.
Cool.
Hey,
I'm
Casey Jones.
I can't do it. I like all my
Casey
friends.
Jones. came up with an idea and ran with it and has built it into something that, and it's bringing new fans in because, hey, I'm a fantasy football guy. What's this rodeo deal? And then they get into it. And then all of a sudden they're just doing it for the fantasy side. Now they're a fan. Now they've got the people they cheered for, you know, and now they're watching the rodeo because at first it was just, how's my team doing? But now, hey, now I'm interested in the overall, you know, rodeo. And I would be willing to bet, especially with pro fantasy this year, what's the over-under that 95% of people took Tyler Wegesbeck in the bulldogging because it was only going to cost them $20,000?
Literally everyone.
Thank you, this person. But do you know what? So Skip, we don't know each other. My husband is the head rodeo coach at Oklahoma State. So Guy knows, he knows a little bit about rodeo, right? And I said, I'm going to pick my own team. I'm going to go ahead and pick my own team. And he comes home and he goes, you submitted it? And I was like, yep.
That's
hey,
done.
Guess who's third in our league right now? Let's go.
Guess
Let's go.
I'd pull it up, Katie, but I can't seem to get that page to open on our deal.
And I had a sentimental pick on there because my daughter high school rodeoed with Wacy Shala. And so he was my sentimental pick. And honestly, probably the only one that I'd have been like, ooh, let me maybe. But his trend was over last night, right? Yeah. So I'm not going to jump ship too fast. But just in case you want to know, girl knows the Cowboy stuff too. Okay.
Hey, you know what? And the way I look at it too, on the other spectrum, is I think it opens eyes, like you were saying, to maybe people for the first time, the rodeo stuff, you know. And I think that could lead to, hopefully, my hope is that it leads to more sponsorship coming to rodeo. It's sad that rodeo doesn't have enough money for these contestants. It looks big during the national finals, but the amount of money it takes for these athletes to go down the road and hit all these rodeos to make it to the big show is so expensive. And to see the amount of money that the athletes get in basketball and football, pro football and stuff, it just, I want to see that for the athletes in rodeo.
Well, and I
they
think
deserve it. It's harder on their bodies.
Guy, I think we're a lot closer than a lot of people realize. So
I do too.
Teton Ridge acquiring the Cowboy Channel, I don't think a lot of people realize how impactful that's going to be. There's a lot of folks out there that have a lot of opinions on social media about what they would do or not do, or how the American's structured, or how the streaming has been, and Teton Ridge and all this stuff. Yeah. The guy owns part of the freaking Yankees.
Yes,
he knows how to run a sports franchise. Okay. So not only that, but his president, his VP, all of them, while they may not be rodeo people, they understand from a marketing standpoint, from a sports standpoint, how you elevate a team and how you elevate a program. I think this is my prediction. By 2027, I think there's probably closer to $100,000 for a round every night at the NFR to win it. And I think that there's going to be $1 million bonuses at the end of the year. And then in 10 years, I think we have guys that are signing contracts for multi-million dollars to be on certain teams for certain brands.
You bet.
It also goes into what are those you look at pro sports, right? Caitlin Clark is killing it in women's basketball, but also eyes are the prize. So if you're not gaining eyes on your product, you're not going to get that high dollar money. We have an incredible show here. We don't have enough room for the amount of eyes we need to have the amount of money to put on a production that would be out of hand. Rodeo Vegas has the money, right?
Yes.
Not as many eyes. That's right. So you start to look at that, and it's like, what do you bring to the sponsor? Because the sponsor is going to put out $100,000, or let's say they put out $1 million. Are they going to get 10 million people to buy that product or see it? That's the paradigm. There is, what are you bringing, and how am I going to get my investment back? Because every time you ask sponsor for money, it's ROI. You know what I mean? Yep. It's not the other way around. So I think money's coming. It's expensive. It's extremely expensive to rodeo. I don't think that I could announce all year long without American Hat and Wrangler. I don't think I could do it. You know what I mean? And I have my own company and I do okay money, but I also have a wife and I have a house and I have 2 trucks and I have 2 dogs and I have a cell phone, you know, I have all and stuff. So
you got to be able to buy those Korean hot dogs.
You got to be able
to. Hey.
You gotta be
Well,
able to buy drums by the 55-gallon drum. You
I
know?
just like bringing it up every once in a while to watch him go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you just like see me just kind of like just get nauseous. Well, and you're talking about eyes on product, and you made a good point. I knew what the WNBA was. I knew it was a women's professional basketball league, but I also Caitlin Clark coming at Iowa for 2 years in the finals, and there's just this momentum and this swelling. I paid attention to the WNBA this year. Where where the Indiana Fever were in the standings. Are they going to make the playoffs? Is she going to win Rookie of the Year? This battle between her and the girl on the Chicago Sky, for Rookie of the Year and all this stuff, Angel Reese. And I'm a fan because of,
Sure.
So, and they knew what they were doing. And so now they were selling out arenas and away teams. Teams that were playing the Indiana Fever were going to the NBA stadiums that hold 10, 12, 15,000 versus the 3,500 seat stadiums and selling out because Caitlin Clark was coming. And I think rodeo is headed that way with our personalities, with our contestants, with eyes on the prize. And the perfect example of that is in the bareback riding and Rocker Steiner. I mean, how many eyes has Rocker brought? And
love to hate that guy, don't they?
There's a lot of superstars coming up like him. That we've got a lot of the younger generation. Really, he's strumming up a lot of views and a lot of eyes on rodeo. It's kind of exciting to see, and seeing him get in that position. I think what started the big tidal wave was our boy Trevor Brazil. That guy, not only an example of how to be and how to live and the cowboy way and that kind of stuff, but the superstar that man is. And man, people that didn't know anything about rodeo were so focused into knowing more about him, and then he's just bringing them to rodeo. And so when I see young guys like Rocker and all them really taking another just the energy and the bringing these, I love it. It's really cool, and bring sponsorship in.
Well, it's bringing new sponsorship in.
Mm-hmm.
I want to add too that a lot of the stuff that we saw in the WNBA started with Caitlin in college.
In school.
So while she was in school.
She changed college basketball before she changed
the NCAA rule for the name, image, and likeness. Once that changed, it unrolled a whole new thing. And I'll say, I think that rodeo contestants from a very young age have been selling their name, image, and likeness.
For free.
We just haven't been doing it right.
For free.
Yes.
Been giving it away for free.
Yes. And so I really think that, it goes hand in hand with what you kind of foresee coming down the road, but we're going to see students and parents moving forward with NIL differently. I hope to see that moving forward with NIL differently from a younger age. Like, let's start talking about, don't give me gas money so I can get down the road. Like, let's really be smart business owners about it and the thing sell it right.
The thing too is, like, I think people, we only have 8 minutes left. I could go down a rabbit hole, but I'm speaking from a high school rodeo athlete.
Yes.
Right. To a marginally okay professional rodeo athlete, to a professional rodeo announcer. It's like, I get calls all the time about how I get other people to have a shirt like this.
Yeah.
I can tell you it's this. Who you are outside the arena matters a whole lot more than what you do inside of it. The eyes on you is important, right? But a free hat does not get you to another rodeo. A free shirt and a free pair of jeans and, a patch on your shirt doesn't get you to the next rodeo. Do you know what helps? How about a structured black and white on paper contract? I'm going to give you $50,000. This is what you're going to do for me. This is what I'm going to do for you. At the end of the year, we're going to revisit. And if that didn't make sense to us on either side, right? Because then there's a level of accountability on the athlete's part. There's a level of responsibility of the sponsorship part. And the two of those come together. And that is where you see, Cinch and American Hat and Wrangler and Justin Boots and all these guys. In a lot of ways, though, we have to take that bed sheet of the good old boys club and we got to shake that sucker out, because there's so many companies that dominate at the high level that don't have to give as much money anymore because they have so many high level athletes, right? So you're talking about kids in high school and college. Cinch has made it a point to get to those kids early. There's a Cinch national champion, world champion team It's on the side of a semi-trailer that drives down the road all the time. You know, these bigger high school rodeos. I would like to see colleges host high school rodeos. And I would like to see those rodeos then take the top 2 or 3 and whatever town they're in at that pro rodeo, highlight those kids.
Yeah.
If we don't start bringing them up in that way, see, we have a unique structure. Pro rodeo is different than pro football, pro baseball, pro soccer, pro hockey. You have an opportunity in rodeo to be 16 years old, qualify for the IPRA, win a world title, and now you're a world champion before you're 18.
Yeah.
Yes.
John Crimber has been a world champion 18 times. He just turned 19.
Yes.
So,
Speaking
you
of
know,
opening up a can of worms, though, I think you're about to open up a big one that Heidi and I are pretty close to when it comes to structure of an IRA, structure of high school
I only have
rodeo.
5 minutes.
Thereof. So I think there's a lot of those things. I think to your point, there's kind of this old school mentality that sponsorship is donation. It absolutely is not. It's marketing investment. And I think a lot of people go, oh, well, they're giving me this free. And having done sponsorship for the NFR for almost 8 years, I can tell you that giving you free cowboy hats and jeans doesn't pay the bills, right? So if you're watching out there and you're thinking about, I'd like to figure out how to get sponsored, I highly recommend think about the things that you heard here today. Who you are off, and you've heard this all NFR hangover. Like we've talked about, Stacy and I talked about nice guy points, right? Like who's out there doing good things, but who you are outside the arena means as much or more as what you're doing inside the arena. Because if you're out there, if you're winning every rodeo, but you're a total jackass to be around, sponsors don't want to connect with those people because you're not connecting with their humans. So I love that you said that, and I love that it's not just us like ringing this church bell over and over and over about like being a good person and not throwing yourself on social media like a pandering, looking for things. But this is a business, and I think I agree with what you're saying is things are starting to focus that way. When it comes to NIRA and it comes to high school rodeo, the structure just isn't there to do those kind of things.
And I know Guy, I know that he and I are the same in the way that I will not put a brand on my body that I do not use, support, or really truly believe in. And so if you don't believe in something, you're not going to love it and you're not going to treat it the same way.
That's right.
If they give you a truck and trailer, but you don't really like Ford and you don't really like Bloomer, you're not going to care.
Yeah.
Right. So it's much more about what are you looking for, right? And then a sponsor, what is the sponsor looking for?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because Guy and I get to stand on stage every night and we don't have to pay for boots and hats and shirts and jeans and whatever, but it's also when I go home, my wife does not care that I'm a Wrangler sponsored athlete. Yeah. She's like, the dishes are in the sink and not in the dishwasher, right? So it's like, it's who are you as a real person? And I really hope that like Bullfrog, I think, is doing something completely different, crazy, and I love it. I had no idea about it until I met Heidi. So, but it also is like, man, you guys, you're about to do some really cool stuff, and you're about to flip the industry on its head, which is exactly what it needs. It needs to be turned upside down. So,
well, and I appreciate that. I'm going to do a shameless plug. Like one of the skills and one of the trainings that we want to provide student athletes is this. Like, let's talk about what it looks like to sell your name, image, and likeness. And it's not just about getting the cowboy hat. And it's not, not only do you need to pick a good fit for your school, but let's talk about creating your own brand and what that means and what it looks like. So it's more than just making sure you find a good fit for a college rodeo program. Yes. We're talking about life skills that these student athletes are going to use for a really long time that can keep them going.
Let me say one more thing. You can be as good as you want to be. Social media does not make you famous.
Nope.
Okay? If you can't do it in the arena every time, consistently, repetitively, I don't care who's on your shirt.
Yeah.
Social media highlights are not how you get to the NFR.
Nope.
You get to the NFR and then you make the highlights.
Yeah.
So I think for those kids watching or college, athletes that might be watching this, or even guys that have their card or girls have their card that aren't quite there yet, visit Champion Living, get a trainer, listen to people who have been there, done that, know what's going on. Do not listen to outside influence and put in the damn work.
That's the key.
If you're not willing to get up every morning and break ice buckets in the wintertime, feed your horses on time, make sure they get rode on time, take care of your saddles, make sure your ropes are squared away, make sure your stuff is good, your equipment's taken care of, you're taking care of yourself, you don't deserve it. And a lot of kids think because, well, I've got 30,000 followers on Instagram, I deserve it. No, sir. Sorry, I don't care. Go be a better athlete. Go be a better human. Your social media following might go down, but I promise you, eternity will be better for you. So
I take a potato, put lipstick on it and a hat, and I can get 30,000 followers on Instagram tomorrow.
Amen.
That's the
Tape a banana to a wall and sell it for $1 million. But that,
yeah,
Accurate.
It is.
you know,
Pretty accurate.
So,
Well, we are coming up on the hour mark. I also did not talk results, which I'm totally fine with because I
Me
was
too.
at a watch party, but I did not necessarily watch the rodeo.
well, and I can hit them real quick. I
Team
mean,
Open was wild.
the team open, they had the eliminator pin out for the first half of the team open. I mean, come on now.
They made me a
might be
liar in
full.
steer wrestling.
That's true.
I said in the steer wrestling, if they were 3-8, they were going to be fast, and they were 3-6 to win the dang bulldog. And so I was.
Hey, here's an update, and this is just, I know we got 2 rounds left, but Dean Thompson wins a round last night in the bareback riding. Rocker goes second. Bradley Miller, Cole Franks, R.C. Lanigan, and Weston Timmerman are your top 6. But there's a switch up in the average. Keenan Hayes dropped to 3rd. Cole Franks goes to 4th. Dean Thompson's in 2nd. But the projected world standings now, even with Rocker having a no score, they project Rocker as a world champion now with 2 rounds left because of what he's done here in the last few rounds.
Well,
So
he had a lot of money coming in, too. He kind of gave himself a comfortable little bubble coming in.
he gave me that cushion.
I think Bradley Miller, we've got 2 pins left. We've got the TV pin left, which everybody likes to watch on Saturday night when we're going to crown a world champion. Here's my prediction. Rocker's going to win a world title because God made it so. But Bradley Miller, I think next year you're looking at a completely different number 1 and 2 race there in the bareback riding. That he's insane. I wish he'd work out more, but he is a heck of an athlete.
He's an excellent. And what was cool last night watching it, and I did get to watch it from the comfort of my watch. Actually, I was at the best watch party. The Christmas tree was off to my right. The fireplace was going here, and the TV's right there. And I had a blanket over my legs. But
Ready to eat a Korean hot dog. I just throwing that in there.
what do you have to keep up with the Korean hot dogs?
You're never living again.
But watching that ride and then knowing his dad, Bubba Miller, coach at Sam Houston, and just watching him in the replay, and that's my boy. That was, you want to talk about emotional, and just you feel it because as a parent that has a child that competes, you know what he's going through and all the time in the practice pin, the blood, sweat, and tears. But I've watched him off and on this year and watched him at the finals. But last night, I guess, was the first night I get to really focus in because I wasn't running around, doing stuff. That kid is electric. He has the it factor. I'd say the state of bareback riding is in great hands with these young, up and coming.
It's okay. Sure. We're gonna be all right.
So, but hey, you guys, we could go through all the events, but I know you guys got a lot going on. We're knocking on an hour. I'm just
Saturday we do it again.
Saturday morning?
Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah.
We won't go crazy and go on tangents. We'll just talk about the last 10 days we've been here.
Yeah, no
I
lie.
feel like that's
perfect.
a lie.
I love it.
Like we just met, but I feel like that's a lie. I feel like there's going to be plenty of rabbit.
I feel like that's a lie.
Hey,
it's called alternate truths, not lies. It's alternate truths.
Anyways.
well, it's been a pleasure to be here, guys. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining us.
I really thank you guys so much. We're going to be praying over Bullfrog. We're going to be praying over this group of people here, and we just wish all of you guys the best of luck. And Katie, no excuses.
Sorry.
You better be here in 2025.
No lie.
Okay, done.
Well, I tell you what, you guys, like I said, I've said it a couple times. Anybody out there watching, if you're watching this live, if you're watching the replay today, get over to the Westgate, join these guys for the best watch party in Las Vegas. And I know one thing is they have outgrown their area at the Westgate. We need to just kick somebody out of one of the big theaters there and just be in there because you know what? Like I said, you guys do a fantastic job. You bring the Thomas and Mack into the Westgate. You bring the rodeo to the crowd. and
Thank
it's fun, and we are glad to be part of it. So you guys keep kicking butt, enjoy tonight, and look forward to talking to you guys Saturday.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Long
guys,
live the
we'll catch
cowboy.
you tomorrow.